west end of Sanibel. For those of you who are wondering how the bugs are, they are absolutely atrocious right now. So if you are going to be coming to the beach, make sure you're bringing some bug spray with you, or you can wear some like long sleeves to try to protect you from the bugs. But it is a beautiful morning. We are out here post-storm shelling, so post-Elsa. We're gonna call this Sh-elsa, Hurricane Elsa shelling. We've got a really awesome rack line here that has formed, and I just want you guys to know that we were here last night and there was not a whole lot here. So it really depends on the tides and what the tides are doing, and that's going to dictate when the shells come in, right? So let's see, we got a little Rex right here. Get you guys down so you can see. There's so much to look through, and it's really pretty stinky here because a lot of the shells that washed up still had critters in them. So you want to make sure that as you're shelling, especially after a storm, that you are checking the shells to make sure that there's nobody home inside. This is also going to be a good little place to look for minis and tinies as well. Get you guys down so you can see. I'm sure you guys are going to see some things that I don't even see sometimes when I'm out here filming. So here is a shell that I get asked all the time what this is. This is an Atlantic winged oyster, different from the pearl oysters. Pearl oysters are more round, almost kind of like a scallop. These have a very clear wing, if you can see here. Kind of has a point on the end. But this is an Atlantic winged oyster, so a lot of you do find those and ask me about them. There's a little auger here. There's a little Murex hiding. Oh, and here's a pretty little orange scallop. A little rough scallop there. A little chip on it, but that's okay. Lots of duck clams, aka elephant ears. So I call these elephant ears. I always have since I was a kid, because obviously they look like elephant ears, but they are actually called duck clams. But they're pretty abundant if you're a crafter. These are great shells. They are kind of on the thin side and the fragile side. Oh, speaking of fragile, look what I almost stepped on right here, you guys. We have a beautiful angel wing. It's got a little hole in it, but look how pretty. We do not find angel wings very often here on Sanibel, so that's a really, really fun find. Let's see what else we've got here. There's just so much to look through. So here's an example of a little whelk with a slipper shell attached. Okay, so that's just an example of some of the live shells that are washing up, and if they pass away, they start to decay and it becomes really stinky. Here's a really pretty little auger here. Ooh, and look at this really pretty scallop. Look at this beautiful scallop. Wow, that is gorgeous. Conchs. We got some whelks, we got some conchs. It's pretty conch there. And some of these shells are a little bit beat up. They're not always perfect. A lot of crafting shells, so if you guys are crafters, this is a great place to find a lot of crafting shells. Oh, look at at this shark eye. Look how pretty. big and beautiful and empty. So pretty. I love that. There's a Murex too. Here. Little orange scallop. Love orange scallops. Here's another one. A little bit broken, but really pretty. Here's another example of a little clam there that doesn't look like he's gonna do too well. So always be mindful of the critters. Little conch. Piece of a giant heart cockle there. It's a cute scallop. You guys know I love these scallops with the barnacles on them. I just have a thing for them. And I'll show you guys too. Oh, look, here's another angel wing. Is it broken? It's usually broken. Oh, it is. Bummer. Ah, so hard to find these whole, man. I'm telling you. Here's some buttercups. Oh, juvenile buttercups. This one's intact. They're so pretty. Throw those right into a shell bag. Another good thing about having a mesh shell bag, you guys, that has fine mesh, I can throw all of my sandy shells right in here and rinse it out before I leave. So if you're not using a mesh shell bag, you're gonna wanna rinse your shells out before you put them in your bag. Otherwise, you're gonna have a bunch of like sand in there and wet shells. Oh, please be whole. Look how pretty this scallop is. Please be whole. Please, please, please. Don't be broken. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my gosh, I think it's whole. I think it's whole. Rinse it off. Oh my gosh, it is. It's whole and it's gorgeous. Wow. Let me focus. Focus in on that beauty. Look how gorgeous this rough scallop is, you guys. Oh my gosh. This is so pretty. So rough scallops again, you'll know because they have one wing here that's longer than the other. See that? That is a find. Woohoo! Here is a little scallop here. And a little conch. So that scallop gives you guys a good example of why I always say have to look for things that are kind of buried a little bit in the sand. There are shells buried all underneath what you're seeing. So when the waves come up and it washes some sand away, sometimes it'll start to uncover a couple little shells. And I just want to show you guys too, like, so this is a shell trail, and then up here you've got like the higher rack lines, and you've got even more shell piles. So you can see, let me take you up here to show you because this is pretty cool. You can see the waves here got so high that it literally cut a ledge. Let me see if I can get on this side. You guys see the waves? So I want you guys to see this. It literally cut into the wall here, and so all of these shells are starting to fall down. I mean, you can see there's shells in here, right? Look at that. I mean, there's shells in the wall. What is this, a piece of a horse conch right here? Oh no, it's an arc shell. There's a little scallop sticking out here. So just to show you guys, like, there's shells that are buried. So up here is just kind of the dune area. And you can see how many shells made it all the way up here. And then you can see here, you've got this like layer of shells right here. You guys see that? So there's so many places to shell because you can go all the way up here into like the dunes where shells ended up here. And then you can also start to shell the wall where the shells are starting to fall down. Here's a big conch that ended up here. There's lots of kitten paws. Look at all the kitten paws here. Lots of kitten paws. There's a cardita over there. And then you've got the other rack lines that have formed. Well, let's see what husband has, because he always has awesome shells. Okay, so he's got an intact jewelry box. Okay, so what I'm going to show you guys is this is empty, right? It's no longer alive, but look at the guts inside. It's kind of gross, right? If you put this in your shell bag, it's going to stink to high heaven. So you have to wash this out really well and make sure that you clean it when you get home. It's got a really pretty orange scallop here. And then he's got, oh, same thing. So look, he has a intact, which is really cool, alternate talon. We usually don't find these intact. There we go. Okay, so an intact alternate talon, but if you look on the other side, shell guts, right? So we gotta make sure we clean that out. Or you can take it home and put it outside for the ants to finish it off, but just know that this tissue is gonna be mighty, mighty stinky. And then he's got just one single alternate talon right here. And then he's got some scallops too. Pretty orange scallops. Husband always finds the best shells. Okay, so you guys can see like there's a shell pile up here. There's a shell pile here. There's a whole kind of rack line, big rack line here. And then of course you have like your fresh rack line where we were at. So lots of places to shell after the hurricane. The hurricane, you know, sometimes, and now honestly, I mean, again, I keep repeating this, but I would just want you guys to understand that every beach is different. Like we come to the West End often. It's just where we like to come. Or we go to Lighthouse. So those are kind of our two beaches. Obviously, if you guys are members of the Virtual Shelling Network, you know that those are kind of my preferred spots. And it's not even just because, you know, of the beach and the shells, but it's also because like this is kind of like the residence beach and there's not a ton of people here. So when I'm filming, I run into a lot of the time, like at Lighthouse, Bowmans Beach, Algiers, a lot of the time there's just a ton of people and it makes it really hard to film, especially on weekends when there's like a lot of music being played. It kind of drowns out what I'm trying to talk to you guys about. So here's another really pretty red rough scallop there. I'm gonna check out this little pile and see what we find. So you guys can see these poor little clams are not doing well. And I don't know if you guys can see the ants too. I don't know if you guys will be able to see them, but there's ants everywhere. So make sure that you have your beach shoes on because you want to protect your feet from the shells. You want to protect your feet from bacteria, right? Because there's a bunch of decomposing sea creatures. And you also want to make sure that you don't step on anything sharp or get bitten by ants. Oh my God! Look! Do you guys know what this is? Okay, it's not the best looking one in the whole world. But today starts Shark Week. And we just found well, it could be a shark egg casing. It could be a skate, but we're gonna just pretend it's a shark egg casing because they do look, let me turn around, a lot similar. I cannot identify egg casings like this for those who ask me. I just don't know. There is a graphic. If I can find it before I do this video, I will go ahead and post and share, but it's a way to identify the egg casings. But usually you have to identify them while they're completely intact and before they hatch. So unfortunately, I couldn't tell you if this is a skate or if this is a shark, but we're gonna just pretend it's a shark because today starts Shark Week. By the way, I also have some amazing shell bags that I'm gonna be putting up for you guys also, so definitely stay tuned for that. But check out how fun. These are called mermaid purses, and I absolutely love, these are one of my favorite beach treasures to find. I absolutely love them. So that is quite a fun find today. I am so excited. Oh my gosh, you guys, here, look. Zoom, Laura, zoom. Do you guys see the dolphins jumping out of the water? Clear out of the water, hold on. Where did they go? Of course, right when I start videoing, they're gonna like stop playing. Can you guys see the splashing going on out there? Woo! Look at that! Try to zoom in a little bit. It's hard for me to zoom in and keep it still in focus. What a show. Oh, we've got some little ones right here too. If I can come closer. Alright, I'm kind of in this higher rock line here, kind of checking out to see what we can find. Now, I will tell you guys, after a couple days of this stuff washing up and sitting out, it gets pretty rank. I mean, if you guys think red tide smells bad, this is like way worse. So just know that, you know, sometimes we gotta go through the gross stuff to get to the good stuff. Do you know what I mean? See if we have anything fun up here. I'm just kind of looking and walking and just kind of see what I think good catches my eye before I go back down to the water. A lot of this stuff has already been picked through pretty well, but you never know. I always tell people, like, it doesn't matter if there's been other shellers there before you or there's people shelling. I mean, there's nobody that can find every single shell. So don't get discouraged if you're like, oh, there's a million shellers at the beach. It's okay. Like, go find that one thing they missed. Because I guarantee you nobody saw that egg casing, that mermaid purse. Here's a little shark eye. So there will be shells for you to find for sure. And then plus, there's gonna be shells too that people leave because they're occupied or they're, you know, they've got a critter still in there. And then sometimes it takes a while for the ants or the birds to clean out those shells. So by the time they're cleaned out, they'll be ready for you. So don't ever think that just because, you know, you're not down here right after the storm. Right after the storm isn't always the best time to shell. It might be the best time to take advantage of shell piles, but it's not always the best time to take advantage of a lot of the shells because they're all stinky and gross and have critters in them. So just don't ever think that it's, like I always say, there's never a bad time to shell. You know, every day is a great day for shelling. Pretty little walk there. So don't get discouraged if you're not here during a storm. And this is days after, by the way. I had to work all week, so I didn't get here to the beach until days after the hurricane. So this is what you're seeing that's still here. Not a lot of sea whips. I was hoping to find some fun sea whips, but I haven't seen any yet. So that's another thing that I love to find that we don't find super often here on Sanibel. I absolutely love them. There's a little spiny jewelry box. Let's see if it's pretty on the other side. Oh yes, nice pretty purple. It's gorgeous. I know a lot of you love those purple shells. Here's a little paper fig. Oh, it's broken. Oh, it's just a piece. A lot of those paper figs. Paper figs are like angel wings. They're just so fragile. Oh, here's a little lace murex. This is pretty. Make sure there's no critter in there. Nope, good. It's a pretty one. There's a piece of a true. So the trues are here. Little conch. Pretty purple scallop. Look at this one. Ooh! Oh, it's got a little bubble shell in there, but it's also got a critter. So I am gonna let that one, so that's a good example, that one's gonna stay here and let the bugs clean it out. And maybe one of you will come down next week and it'll be all cleaned out for you. Here's a little operculum, little trap door. So those are always fun to find too. Guys, I just came across a little sea whip here. It's little, it's not the best looking one ever. Try to get some of the seaweed off of it though. Okay, so this is what they look like. And I don't know if you guys will be able to see the purple on the top here. It's got a little bit of a purple. They're usually, a lot of times, all purple. But this is what they look like. Cute little sea whip. They're great for crafting, shell displays. They're really fun. I'll get this all cleaned off and put it in my bag. But yay, we did find a sea whip. That's super fun. What else we've got right along here? Lots of these big, beautiful scallops here. Look how pretty, with a little barnacle on it. Down so you guys can see too, a little bit lower. Guys, like too, sometimes here you'll see like there's not a whole lot of shells, and then as you come down this way we'll start to see some more. All right guys, so we walked quite a ways down and I wanted to show you that like there's no shells here, right? I mean there's some shells but like not a lot, and then all of a sudden look at this, boom, shells. Okay, so I keep telling you, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I want people to understand, 'cause in these groups every day, I have people say like, oh, there's no shells. Well, if you come out to the beach right here, from here to those trees down there, you're not gonna find much. But if all of a sudden you start walking, all of a sudden, there's gonna be like shells galore. You have to go find the spots, right? You have to go find where the water is washing up the shells. There's a pretty scallop here. Olive. Oh, it's gonna be such a great little shell shelf. When you see a bunch of shells like this, and all of a sudden you're seeing some good keepers. Pretty conch. Oh, look at all the conchs. Look at all the conchs, conchs, conchs. Look at all of them. Conch, 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 conch. See what else we've got up here. You're gonna have a lot of like minis and tinies, so this is gonna be a great place to get down and check your little mini tiny shells. Another little whelk. Here is a little Murex. Oh, here comes the waves. We gotta hurry because tide's coming in. Tide's coming in. There's a little Seraph here. A little slipper shell. A cute slipper shell here. That was a little nutmeg. Oh, we've got an Alfie. We got an alphabet cone. Shout out, Mike. Look at that. Okay, it's not the best ever. It's a little bit beat up on the other side, but that's okay. It is an alphabet cone. Love that. Let's see what we can find here. Here's a little turbo kind of buried here. See what else we've got. Here's a Murex here. Here's a little tiny conch. Here's another turbo. And scallop. Oh, look at this orange scallop. Look at the color on this orange scallop, you guys. Can you see how dark red that is? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to take a picture of that one. Look how pretty. That is gorgeous. Let's see if we get up here. There's another little Seraph here. There's a little drill. Here's another nutmeg. Here's a sand dollar. Look, a perfect sand dollar. Beautiful. I'm gonna set this here and put it in my bag in a second. Here's another turbo. All right, let's check out this little area here. Here's a little whelk hiding. There's a little Florida cone right here. Ooh, a shark eye's hiding here too. Pretty shark eye. Here's another shark eye. And the waves are coming in. Little Murex shells. Make sure nobody's home. And these. Woo! Little olive hiding right here. So sometimes you gotta like move these shells around too because there'll be so many things underneath. Oh, look here. Here's a little false angel wing. So I get asked a lot, what's the difference between an angel wing and a false angel wing? If you can see the ridges here, they kind of stop about a third of the way up. You guys see that? So that's how you know it's a false angel wing and not a true angel wing. Whereas a true angel wing here, you'll see the ridges go all the way up. Just to give you guys a quick little example. Here's a little drill. Oh, look at the little tinies. Okay, we've got a drill. We've got a little shark eye. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Here's another little drill here. And a little piece of coral. That's kind of cute. Look at the little rice olive. Can you see it? Right here. Little tiny rice olive. So all these little shells go right into my shell bag. Here's a little spiny slipper shell. That's so cute. Little spine on that. So we've got a little olive hiding here. Look at this little baby olive. How cute this little baby olive is. Just another little. Oh my gosh, I just love the little babies. So all of the little minis, tinies go right into my shell bag. I never think twice about it. Here's a little top here, a top shell. Here's a Seraph, really pretty Seraph. So if you get down, I mean, you're gonna see so many fun shells. There's another Sarah here. Here comes the waves coming in. Auger here. Whew. Here they come. So it's either gonna form a big shell pile, this little shark guy, or it's gonna take all these shells and they're gonna be gone. You never know. So it's either gonna make this shell pile bigger, and then whoever shells here later we'll have an awesome ginormous pile to look through. Oh, look, husband's got some fun shells too. Look at that, so pretty. All right guys, so I want you to see down here in the brake line. Okay, there's like no real brake line, right? You see this? Not a lot of shells, not a lot of anything. But as we start following the brake line, all of a sudden, we're gonna start to see shells. Look, boom, shells. Like, all of a sudden, like no shells, shells, right? And this is why you have to walk the beaches, because the shells might not be where you are. Look at all the bubble shells. So this, anytime you see bubble shells, right, this is gonna be like mini tiny area, okay? Like here's a little whelk right here. Anytime you see a bunch of bubble shells like this is gonna be the best place to find your minis, your tinies, your winter traps. Unfortunately, right here, it's all on the brake line. So what I would recommend doing is getting a scooper. Just picked up a handful here. Got a little conch, little spotted Indian boat, little conch, or slipper shell, whatever you prefer. But this is a great place for minis and tinies. They're just really hard to brake line shell for because they're just so small. And by the time you see them, they're usually like moving and gone. But I'm gonna kind of hold this here for you guys, so hopefully you can kind of see some minis and tinies. Gosh, there's so many. And it's hard when the tide is coming in because the waves get more choppy. Oh, is this a true tulip? Just a big handful. I got it. Oh, I did. Oh, it is. Oh my gosh, look how cute. Hold on, let me rinse it off and try not to drop it. Don't drop it, don't drop it. Yay! Look, you guys know I love little baby tulips and it's perfect. Please don't have anybody home. Oh, look how cute. Tell me that's not like the cutest little thing ever, right? You guys see how cute and perfect it is? So that just gives you guys an idea of literally minis and tinies. Let me throw that in my shell bag so I don't lose it. Even my minis and tinies go into my shell bag. I don't want to lose them. If you put them in your pocket, you forget they're there, you take out your keys, they end up falling out. All of my treasures go into my shell bag. So that way I know that they make it home. It's a little hair whelk and a paper fig. A little kind of broken pear whelk. So many shells right here in this spot. I could just shell this spot all day. Well, until the tide comes in and I can't see, but this is what I live for. I live for brake line shelling. As we make it up this way, you guys will see that the shells get a little bit bigger, right? A little bit bigger. Here's a pretty Ceres. You start to see some whelks, some bigger conchs, some bigger type shells. guy. I think it's broken, but it's a really good example of what to look for right here. Yeah, it's broken, but that's an example of how you can see in the brake line and what to look for. Oh, I wish these waves would slow down a little bit. That's the only bummer about coming when the tide is changing from low to high, is the waves start to get a little bit more rough, and then the visibility kind of goes away, especially if you're shelling the brake line. There's a shark eye right there. Do you see it right here? Make sure I don't lose it. Look how pretty. I love shelling the brake line. Look for the orange. See the orange? I'm gonna try to keep my eye on it so I don't lose it. Right here, little coarse conch. Look how cute. This is such my favorite place to shell. And guys, like, there was no brake line all the way down the beach, right? Like, there just really wasn't much of a brake line. You've got to walk until you find the spot. And once you find the spot, you're good. And this is what we call the spot. When you have a bunch of shells. Ooh, is this another little shark eye right here inside another shell? See if I can get him out. There you go, a little shark eye. There's a big murex rolling. Big one, look at that. Apple murex rolling around. Make sure he doesn't have a little shell on there. Oh, look at that. You guys see that? That is the operculum, and that means he has a critter in there. So this one's alive, and he's breeder size, so we're gonna make sure he goes back out to be able to produce more beautiful apple murex shells. Let's see what else we can find here. It looks like a little whelk here. A little conch. Starting to get wavy because that tide changes, and all of a sudden the waves start coming in for high tide. So we do not have long. Oh, I'm going to do a big handful here. I'm going to do a big handful. See if I got anything here. All right, so I got another murex, but look, it's got a creature in there. They must be coming into shore to breed. Another one, yep. See this one? He's hanging on to this shell right here. Try to pull him out a little bit so you guys can see the little animal hanging on. Can you see him hanging on? Okay, so he's hanging on, so we're gonna let him go back. Always check your shells. I can't even tell you how important it is to make sure that you're not taking anything that is alive. A really pretty little intact scallop. Nobody home, all cleaned out. That's fantastic. Oh, and the waves are coming in. And it's getting hard to see. There's a little whelk here. I think there's another little whelk here. Oh, barnacled whelk. Settle down, waves. I want to shell here. Oh, that was broken. But hopefully you guys can kind of see the brake line and how to look for some fun shells. Oh, here's a really pretty turbo. That pretty kind of pinkish colored turbo. That's gorgeous. Looking for color, looking for things rolling.